future has begun. We will rise. I have escaped. A new era has begun. And we will win.
Hello Internet, welcome back to Game Advent Studios. So last time I tried to do a theory video, it didn't really come out that great. I covered Markiplier's In Space with Markiplier video series, and tried to predict what would happen in part 2. And that video, it was more of just like what I personally thought, and didn't really do that much research into it. Today's video, however, I wanted to take a stab at the FNaF lore. Now, originally, the plan was to go over every nook and cranny of every book, game, or whatever else there is FNaF related, but that was kind of overwhelming. So instead, I looked at some of the newer games, starting from Help Wanted, and to see if I can get some ideas for a theory video. And there is something interesting that I have found about the games after Help Wanted. When playing Security Breach, walking through Rockstar Row, did you ever look at the cutouts and ask, aren't those the cutouts from the Curse of Dreadbear DLC of the Help Wanted game? What are they doing here? How are they here? Well, today I think I figured it out. And trust me when I say, this changes everything you know about the FNaF reality. So let's dive in. One thing I wanted to say first is that I got this idea after watching a bit of FNaF's video, The Clues That Solve FNaF Security Breach. I also saw some people talk about asking about why there's some stuff from Help Wanted at the Pizzaplex, and so I know I wasn't the first person to notice these things. With that out of the way, let's get right into the video. What first got my gears turning was the fact that there is 2 different times the Plush babies are either hinted at or seen after the events of Help Wanted. First was the room that the minigame took place in Help Wanted, can be found at the Pizzaplex. The second time is in Ruin, where Cassie walks into a room with plush babies, and they disappear when you look away from them. That's kind of a weird thing to just have in a game, right? Like, it's also weird because the fact that the plush baby room from Help Wanted is the only non-DLC thing from Help Wanted at the Pizzaplex. Everything else from Help Wanted is from the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. The assembly room, the projector, and the cutouts. So the fact that the plush baby room is here at the Pizzaplex in reality, this means that the DLC stuff is not just Easter eggs, like some people suggested. Steel Wool is trying to hint to us about a connection between the virtual world, the AR world, and reality itself. This could also be a reason why in the FNaF universe, some things mix up the virtual reality and augmented reality. And speaking of augmented reality, another connection between Help Wanted and Security Breach, well, the Ruined DLC of Security Breach anyway, is Helpy. Helpy first appears as an assistant and virtualized animatronic from the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Simulator. This is important because there is a physical Helpy and a virtual Helpy. After Pizza Sim, Helpy appears again in Help Wanted. Keys the illustrations that appear on the level select monitor. However, there is also a chance for a physical Helpy to appear beside the monitor. This helps the player to find a button on the side of the monitor. This button is used to get a secret ending where Glitchtrap makes a shush noise and sign to the player before going into the darkness. This is the first time we see a Helpy help the player into some sort of trap with the Glitchtrap. You could say that it was the first time two different entities help to lead someone into a trap. In Ruin, Helpy is an AI assistant for the Vanny network. Now, two things to note is the fact that Vanny and Helpy are both spelled with an I at the end instead of a Y. Helpy is connected to the Pizzaplex, which is infected with the Glitchtrap virus. And in Ruin, we could see the Vanny network in the augmented reality world. It shows us everything that is infected by the Glitchtrap virus. Ruin also adds the idea of two animatronics that are not connected to this Vanny network. We see Glamrock Freddy. Whether or not this is the Glamrock Freddy from the main game or not is not that important, but the fact that he's invisible in the augmented reality world shows that he is invisible to the Vanny network. And we also see Roxy, which is green in the augmented reality world. Every other animatronic is red. And this can show us that there are different sides or different forces going on here at the Pizzaplex. Another thing that shows us different programs working together is the fact that in Ruin, after the MXES program gets shut down for a bit, Helpy and the Mimic Gregory interact with each other. It is the only time that they do.
The security system won't let you leave unless you deactivate the child notes first. What happened to it? Yeah, with my help, I updated Helpy with a signal jammer. That rabbit thing won't bother you anymore.
It's showing us that the Mimic knows a lot more than he is letting on. Like he learned some tricks and knows what it is doing to try to accomplish some sort of mission. Speaking of the Mimic, in the games, we don't really know much about the Mimic. Most knowledge about the Mimic can be found in the Tales of the Pizzaplex books. In the books, the Mimic was created by Edwin Murray to copy any movement it sees and to care for his son while he works. After his son died, however, Edwin took his anger out by beating up the Mimic. This violent behavior ended up into the Mimic's code and made the Mimic a brutal killer. When the Mimic got delivered to the Pizzaplex, it got reprogrammed to rip off limbs and heads of other endoskeletons. This is about all you need to know about the Mimic, is the fact that it can copy movement, mimic voices, and it can adapt in its environment. This brings me to the program that was trying to secure the Mimic, the MXES system. Throughout Ruin, when you are wearing the Vanny mask too long, it triggers the MXES security system to activate. It tries to stop Cassie from moving forward and shutting down the security nodes that are connected to the MXES system. Its whole purpose is to keep the Mimic trapped underground, underneath the Pizzaplex. Although it is not confirmed, because of Gregory's backpack being in the room with the main mix system, it seems that Gregory and possibly Vanessa made this program so that the Mimic never escapes. This could be the reason why the Mimic knows Gregory's voice so well. This might also connect to the secret ending in Help Wanted 2 where Vanny smashes Glitchtrap.
Naughty, naughty.
Vanny got free from the glitch trap and now wants to put an end to the other results of past mistakes. But that is a theory for another day. I bring this part of the lore up so you guys can kind of get an idea of the story and what's happening. How the mix system got created and when is beyond me. I just wanted to talk about there are multiple programs, AI systems, whatever you want to call them. There are multiple forces at play at the Pizzaplex. And now that this is all cleared up, let's move on to what made me think about this whole theory in the first place. This is a weird detail Steelwool has made time and time again throughout the games. In Help Wanted, it was just a minigame where you flashed your light at the plush baby before she attacked you. A simple minigame, nothing more. But then Security Breach comes, and you can find that same room in the Pizzaplex, in the real reality. I say that because in Ruin, you go into the room with plush babies that look and sound like the plush babies in the minigame. That is in the real world, not the augmented reality, not in the virtual world. There's no reason for those plush babies to even be there in the first place. Unless... So, in Ruin, there is a clear black and white difference between the real world and the AR world. You put the mask on, you can see purple in the system that's affecting the Pizzaplex. You take the mask off, and you see the ruined Pizzaplex. This idea between seeing a difference in realities got difficult in Help Wanted 2. In the first half of Help Wanted 2, you play the minigames like normal up until you collect a Faz Wrench, something that Mystic Hippo says should be familiar to us. You use that Faz Wrench to see the same device from Ruin. Turning the device off reveals that you were wearing a mask the entire time. Now, if you were just a casual player, this would have been a complete shock. Unless you are at the log ride. In Foxy's log ride, you could shoot any of the Helpy signs and you go off course. And in these new paths reveals you are in the augmented reality world. It is also another instance of Helpy helping you find a secret. And those altered paths are the only way you could tell that you are indeed in the augmented world. Now, with all that being said, here is my theory. The plush babies, the cutouts, the assembly room, the projector, fake objects, invisible objects, discs that appear out of nowhere, being able to bring stuff from the AR world to reality. It's all because the virtual world of FNaF is leaking into the real world of FNaF. We've already seen it and heard it with Tape Girl and Vanessa, a virtual glitch affecting people in the real world. The plush babies are now in the real world. Heck, in the secret ending of the first Help Wanted, You are literally in the real world, outside of the Pizzaplex as it was being built. Steel Wool is warning us about reality that is in danger, with more and more things from the virtual world merging and affecting the real world. It seems like the entire Pizzaplex is the main area that is being affected by this phenomenon. But this could just be the beginning. This is what the next FNaF games could be about. A blurry line between what is real, what is virtual, and what is augmented. This could be the new era of FNaF. The era of mixed reality. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. And if you like this theory, or if you have thoughts about it, leave your comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time.
Boot up your computer, stick a disc in your console's drive. Whatever platform you're choosing, it's time to switch on your mind. Could be Super Mario, Shooter, Snap, or those evenings down in the mines. But if you look past all those shiny graphics, you'll be surprised what you'll find.